Hey everybody, hold on 1 second. Um, okay, that looks good. Can everybody see and hear me okay? Let me know in the chat section and we'll get started. Uh, trying to, I gotta just, thank you, Robert. Sound and video is okay. All right, good. Trying to get my other screen up. What is, okay. All right. Welcome to my shopping live stream and where we go online and try and find some good deals together. And as always, I try to focus on products that either I've bought myself or have pretty good feel for in terms of it's going to be a good deal or a good product, good quality. And not things aren't always on sale. Sometimes they're just a good deal at the regular price. Either the price came down recently, so it's not on sale, but it's at a low price, or it's a really good value relative to, say, other brands, right? Because sometimes these things are just rebranded, but it's the same thing, and you can get it for a lot cheaper. So I have a couple examples of that. And also, today is the Mega Deal Zone Day, right? I've been waiting for this since Christmas. So they're a little bit behind this year, I think, because normally I see it pop up in January. But particularly what I'm looking at are the Rugard dry boxes or dry cabinets like I have here, where I keep all my gear nice and safe and clean. And it's made a big difference, at least for me, because, my house, sorry, I got a bonus deal for you later. uh, but in my house, it's I don't have like central air and all of that. So it can get very humid here in the summer, and I've had lenses get mold and stuff in them. So that's what prompted me to buy this. But it can happen to anyone. It can get humid in your house, especially for lenses you don't use very often. And you can get the same one that I have here, the 80 liter, for 150 bucks now. So that's a really good deal. I mean, I bought mine years ago for 125. So the fact that you can get it today for 150 is really, really good value. And it's been working great. Keeps all my lenses and gear. I got cameras stuffed in there too, nice and dry. And they have other sizes too. You can get a little smaller one if you don't have as big a collection as I do, or you might need a much bigger one if you're like Emily over there at Micro Four Nerds. And then one last thing is I am an affiliate for Amazon and B&H, eBay, DxO, the usual suspects. So I'll earn a commission if you guys buy anything, but it's a great way to support the channel and work that I do here. And if I find you a good deal, it doesn't cost you any more, and I get a little kickback sometimes. Not always. Sometimes I don't know, the way cookies work and ad blockers and stuff, sometimes I don't get credit. But the important thing is that we get the gear that we want at a good deal, and can expand our photography into areas that we wouldn't normally. So all that said, just looking at the chat section, I see Robert's here, ATR Bear, Jeff, Intrigue or Eric, and Paul. Good to see you guys. Robert says apparently memory prices are going up. perhaps thinking of upgrading their computer should do it soon. I've fallen into that trap before where prices started to go up and then like 6 months later they came back down. You know, just like when everybody was screaming, about the tariffs, we're gonna like double prices on everything, and yeah, some things went up a little, but not so much that you you should have you buy something you didn't really need, right? Because you thought prices were gonna go up. But yeah, things went up a little. I mean, on a lot of the camera gear, maybe 10%, but then they go on sale. Like the Nikon Z8 is $3,500 now, and that's about the lowest I've ever seen it in a long time. I did see it as low as 3,300 for a little while. So again, that 10% margin, but prices are what they are. I mean, you shouldn't buy things because they're on sale necessarily. You buy things because you need them or you want to try something, without spending a lot of money, like filters and things like that. Or if you're on a very, very tight budget. And then I see Paul is saying, I'm chasing a good photo gimbal carbon fiber. Okay. Okay, so I think it's Suray makes the best one. I don't know if they're on sale, but we'll take a look. So, and then how much stuff can you fit in that one? A lot of stuff. I got probably, 30 or 40 lenses in there, including my 300 f4 and some other ones, my 50 to 200. A lot of stuff. The thing is, I have a, it only has one shelf, right? So I effectively doubled the capacity by adding another shelf inside. And it's not really a shelf, it's just a monitor stand. And I don't know if I can get the camera on it or not, but I'll try maybe a little later and show you what I mean. But it's just a monitor stand. Let's see. And I'll try and answer questions as I go along. I know if you're rewatching the stream, you just want to kind of get to the deals sometimes, but yeah, this is the monitor stand. So I got this, and I put it inside, and it gave me another shelf, and it fits in there perfectly. So you definitely want to get this, because our Micro Four Thirds lenses are tiny, right? They're only this tall. So there's no need to have this much space when you only need this much for a lot of things. But okay. Let's go to, you look bundled up today. Atlanta's going to be, yeah, it's going to be in the 40s today. But right now my room is about 65 degrees, and I'm just, I recently discovered that I'm hypersensitive to cold. Not like in a I'm not, it's not like some it's more in more of a medical way. I didn't realize this, but people that are hypersensitive to cold get this certain condition, and I thought it was something else, right? But it's not. I don't want to get too personal about it, but people that are hypersensitive to cold get this certain condition, and I kind of wrote it off as something else, and it goes away after a week or so. But it's really annoying and it's kind of painful, but I just dealt with it. But apparently, if you're hypersensitive to cold, you get this condition, and so there it is. That's me. So that it kind of explains a lot of things why I'm kind of overdressed sometimes relative to what other people are wearing, because I'm cold. I'm cold all the time. in the winter. And I just bundle up. I deal with it. You know, I guess I have a much higher tolerance for pain and stuff than I thought, because some people really suffer with that. But anyway, uh, yes, I am bundled up. Let's get to the deals. And thank you everyone that came to the stream Sunday. I'm gonna have another one, another meetup on this coming Sunday with some new people. Maybe you've seen the thumbnails, but another great group and more diversity there as well. We're gonna focus more on, I guess, drawing on their skills and having them share their best tips and ideas and things. But okay, so definitely check out, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. Let's go to the deals. All right, so actually, hold on. I'm gonna go over Amazon real quick because there was only a few extra things here from last week. Otherwise, there's not a lot of new stuff here from Amazon. Okay, so we'll start with this flash. This is a 400 or 600 watt second flash from Newer. There's two of them here. This one and I'm sorry, this one for $199, the Q200, and then the Q6. Marcus picks, you know, the best thing that's happened to the YouTube in a long time. He likes these two units. I don't own these or have tried these, but if he likes them, they're going to be pretty decent. Okay. So I don't know if you know Marcus Picks or not, but he's another YouTuber, and he buys all this stuff with his own money and tries them out. And this is one that he really likes, that is very compact yet has a lot of power. So I'm going to go ahead and add these in because of recommendations from another person that I really like. The 200 and the 600, excuse me, look like good products to me from Newer or Newer. Or no, it's Newer. Yeah, they pronounce it Newer. And then I found this carbon fiber tripod for 64 bucks. And all the links are down below. So the first, you know, I got my daily picks first, and then I got, if you just go to robtrek.com/deals, it'll take you right to my deal page of all the stuff we're looking at today, except for B&H. B&H, I have a separate link for that. But yeah, this is basically an entry-level carbon fiber tripod, and you know, super lightweight. So if you're on a budget but you want to get a carbon fiber, this looks like a fine tripod. And yeah, it's got a little fancy pattern on it. What do they call it? Gold or something? Golden cloud pattern. So I like this. I like this. It has a nice metal ball head, of course, carbon fiber legs, metal, what do you call these things? I can't remember. But anyway, metal leg joints, right? 1/4 screw and a nice little canvas bag there to go with it. It's probably vinyl, but it's fine. It looks like a decent bag. And a little tip, a lot of times, you know, we throw these bags in the closet and never use them again, right? But I like to use them, and I put like dumbbell weights in them, and I use them as sandbags. So I don't have to buy sandbags. I just use the tripod cases that come with the tripod a lot of times. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, this was on sale, like 100 bucks off. I added some of this stuff last night, but it's not on sale now. So yeah, we can skip that one. This was on sale too, but now it's sold out. Oh man, I had the stream last night. This is a great lens if you have a Sony camera, and I think they have another mount too. It's only $199 regular price, but I think it was on sale for like $169. It was like $30 off. And this is a fabulous lens. Very, very sharp, super compact, lightweight. I did a review on this lens, so I have it here somewhere if you want to see it. But if you have a Sony, or what's the other one? It comes in, what is this one? This one comes in, yeah, Nikon and Sony's on, well, it's not on sale now. Oh, sorry about that. They were on sale last night. This was on sale too for 20 bucks off. This is a decent lens also for Fujifilm. You know, it's got a fisheye lens, it's f2. It's great for astrophotography. I tested this lens, it performed really well. I mean, the corner is not as good as like the 8mm Pro, but $139, you know, this makes it a really good deal even at this price, but it was on sale. I'm so sorry. These things I added last night and they just, yeah, this is not on sale. This was on sale for half price too. Now it's $12, so damn it. Okay, this is still on sale. I added this last night. This is a great backpack for, you know, for the money here, 60 bucks. And it's got a lot of dividers. You know, I like the access here. That's basically a semi-hard shell here. And then we have external straps for carrying, you know, whatever, right? You know, they're holding a tripod there. But a lot of times, you know, you can, if it gets too hot, you can stuff your coat back there, things like that. Lots of pockets and dividers. And Watkin, you know, I don't know how to pronounce this, but they're making a name for themselves. And you can see this has got a 4.3 review so far, so that's pretty solid. This looks like a great backpack for 60 bucks. I just don't see anything wrong with this. And really good capacity. Let's see what other photos they got. Yeah, it's like a semi-hard shell. Very, very thick padding. And it's you know, weatherproof, right? I mean, I wouldn't go underwater with it, but you're going to be pretty, your gear is going to be pretty safe. Because if you look closely, let's see if I can find a close-up. Maybe this one. If you look closely, all the zippers are rubberized, so that really helps keep the rain from seeping in through the zipper itself. They have a little rubber lining everywhere. And then I like I said, lots of little pockets and zippers, mesh pockets so you can see what's in there. 60 bucks, you can't beat that for everything that you're getting. And then hand warmers, you know, $16. This is a good deal. I have several variations of hand warmers, of course, because I just talked about how I'm hypersensitive to cold. Now I know why I have so many, because I'm always using them. Yeah, so I can recommend these. They're a little bit smaller than the ones that I have, but that makes it easier to put in your pockets and just keep your hands warm without being bulky. The ones I have are a little bit bulky. These are a little smaller, but they work well. And of course the OM System OM3, and I have the accessory grip here with it that you want to get together with the OM3. This tripod, $35 if you're on a budget, or you want to just keep one in your car as a backup in case you forget to bring your good tripod. This is a really good tripod for $36. You know, it's all metal, has a good ball head, and the flip locks. You know, you can do a lot worse for $36. Trust me. For $36, this is a really good tripod for the money. So if you're on a tight budget and you don't have a tripod, or you just want a cheap backup that's decent to keep in your trunk of your car, in case you, because how many times have you gone out and forgot your tripod? It's happened to me a few times. Or you need a second one for some reason, right? Because a lot of times people are out there doing And I'll give you a good example why you need 2 tripods. A lot of times you're out in the field. Is my camera out of alignment here? Yeah, just a little. A lot of times you're out in the field, particularly for astrophotography, and you got your one camera set up doing, 5-minute exposures or doing live composite, and then you're sitting there with nothing to do. But you can bring another tripod and set up and do a second astro shot and get some more pictures and experiment, with the second camera because you got the other tripod there. So lots of use cases for a second tripod. But yeah, you guys already know I love the OM3. It's a really good deal. I mean, I think even at full price, this is a great camera, but a lot of people didn't think so. At $1,700, I think it's exceptional. But I highly recommend you get it with, if you don't have this lens, the 12 to 45 Pro. It's a fantastic lens, very compact and very versatile with that zoom range of 12 to 45. This is my everyday camera, right? This is what I use every day. I have a Leo photo grip on it, but the one that I have, this one costs like twice as much. But the $43 one on my deal page is just as functional. Has the Arca Swiss plate on the bottom and relatively small grip, so it doesn't make the camera bulky, right? You can see that doesn't stick out. The one on that deal page is pretty much the same. But here it is with the 12 to 45, and of course I always have a filter on of some kind almost all the time, unless I'm in very low light. So definitely love the OM3. So let me go to the chat section and see if there's any questions before we move on to B&H, because that's where there's a ton of great deals today and tomorrow. So make sure you bookmark my links down below for these deals, and I'm going to point out some that are exceptional. Okay, because some of them, they go on sale time to time, but some of the deals you don't get them very often, and you have to jump on it when they do. And yes, good morning, Heather and Paul. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at. Oh, let me look at the gimbals before we go to B&H. Maybe B&H has one on sale. That would be awesome. And Robin Wong. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. How you doing, buddy? Thanks again so much for being in the chat. You honor the channel and me by being there. You've been such a great supporter over the years, and been a great asset to the Micro Four Thirds community. So thank you so much. I'm really proud to call you my friend, at least here online, right? Because we haven't met in person yet, but one day we will. That is on my bucket list, that we can all get together in real life one day, rather than just virtually online. And Paul asked, what are your thoughts about the new Astro? Okay, so this is the first time I'm not going to recommend an OM system camera. All right. So unless there's some other modifications they made to the camera, but the primary thing that they showed, and I didn't see anything that would change my mind, but they have the IR cut filter, a different IR cut filter in there, which allows more hydrogen light to come through. And like 99% of the galaxy is hydrogen based, right? Or has hydrogen. So that allows effectively 3 or 4 times more light to reach the camera when you're doing astrophotography. So that by itself is awesome. And if you like to do just simple wide field astrophotography, like Milky Way galaxy, star trails, whatever, wide field, wide angle lens stuff, then yeah, it's a great camera, right, for that. But you can't really use it for much else, like regular photography, because the colors are going to be off, especially in broad daylight. At night, you may not notice much difference, but in daylight, yeah, the colors are going to be off a little bit. Typically, they shift a little red. And so it's going to be a single use case camera, right? Astrophotography. And they're asking $2,500. So you're paying for a lot of things that you'll never really use, right? I mean, you're not going to use Pro Capture in Astro, okay? Or the 50 frame per second SH2, or the focus stacking, or ND filters, grad ND. You're not going to use any of the computational features. You're not going to use any of the high performance specs of the shutter speed and frames per second. And, you know, certainly not going to use the video specs, right? Or the color filters or the art filters. You're not going to use anything. So you're paying a lot of money just for an IR cut filter. So that's my main problem. My second problem, and this is almost as bad as the first one, right, is unless they've made a modification to the firmware, there's no way to set the shutter speed longer than 60 seconds. So that causes really big problems if you like to do deep sky astrophotography and you use a tracker, right? Now, I've gotten great shots with 60-second exposures using a tracker, but I'm an amateur. If you want to get serious about astrophotography, you know, you need to be able to control the shutter speed to go, you know, 3 to 5 minutes per shot with a really good tracker and a computer and a laptop. I mean, you can get carried away in Astro, right? And for $2,500, you can buy a really dedicated Astro setup, okay? That'll do a much better job. I mean, they got tracking and full automatic. I mean, those things are amazing for $2,500. So if you want to do astrophotography and you want to spend $2,500, this camera makes no sense to me because you're paying for things that you'll never use because you can't use it as a regular camera. Now, my OM1, my Pen F, my EM5 Mark III, these are cameras I've all done astrophotography with because, one, I can set the shutter speed longer than 60 seconds using an intervalometer because it has a 2.5 millimeter jack. And I use these regularly too, right? I just plug in this intervalometer with a 2.5 millimeter jack, and then I can plug that into the tracker, and everything's automated. And I can set up, you know, as long as an exposure as I want. Because I would put the camera in bulb mode, and then I would just use the intervalometer and set up, you know, 3-minute exposure. I haven't done that personally because I don't have the little, I don't have the other things I need to really do dithering and all the fancy things you do in Astro. But I've gotten good shots with 60-second exposures. So that's two problems. Exposure time, and you're paying for a lot of things. Like, why on earth would you get like this all metal, beautiful retro style camera? You're paying a lot for the looks too, right? The retro design. So you're just paying a lot of money for something that can really only do one thing, and that's astrophotography. And $2,500 will take you a long way if you want to buy dedicated Astro gear. Okay, so that's my rant on the OM3. Now, if they come out, when I see all the specs and they have a 2.5 millimeter jack and they've updated the firmware with some other things, then I'd be like, maybe. But again, you're paying for a lot of things you don't need. Okay, Paul and Robin, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Any good deals on memory cards? No, not really. For regular SD cards, I didn't find anything good. Sorry. I'll look one more time, but I didn't see anything good. And Julio's here. Good to see you. And I have that same Pixel. Yes, it's awesome. The batteries, I have trouble with the battery compartment because I use, you know, rechargeables. So I have to turn them sometimes to get them to work. but for the most part, it works well. Okay. Can you, for more than 60 seconds, the bulb? Yes. Bulb mode is to stay open is, I don't know if there's a limit on it. Probably is some limit. But generally, bulb mode, you can do 3, 4, 5 minutes, no problem. If you do more than like a 5-minute exposure, the problem you run into with, regular cameras for doing astro is that the sensor gets really hot. And then you have to start dealing with heat distortions, right? So that's one of the reasons people, dedicated astro cameras a lot of times use micro four thirds sensors because they're smaller and don't generate as much heat. But dedicated astro cameras, even with a micro four thirds sensor, have fans on them, So that's one of the things. That's just another reason I'm not a big fan of buying a dedicated camera that's doing 100 other things that you'll never use in astrophotography. You can buy a dedicated astro camera for like, $300-400, and it'll do 10 times a better job, right? Because you're not paying for a million things you don't need. Are there even sales going on? I didn't see. Okay, so all right, let's get back to the deals. Let me just take a quick look for the carbon fiber gimbal. The only one I would recommend is the one from Suray. So either one of these, but they're not on sale. I like this one here. It's relatively compact and it's excellent. Very smooth action, plenty of adjustability. It's the perfect size. These are a little bit too big. These two, the PH20. This is a good one for micro four thirds and bigger cameras. You can put full frame cameras on this, and it weighs what? Less than a kilo. So if you're going to buy a gimbal, this is the one I recommend, but I don't see it on sale. So let's go over to B&H. And let's see if they have a carbon fiber gimbal. Oh, wow. Oben. Oben is a good brand. Yeah, there you go. This is the one you want. It's bigger than the Suray. It's taller, right? But it's on sale. It's got a deal savings. So you definitely want to get this. So let me give you a link to this. I would not pass on this deal, definitely. Oops. I mean, if you go out with this gimbal, you ain't kidding around, let me tell you. All right. So there is my affiliate link for the Oben gimbal. I forget who asked. I think it was Paul. But this is an amazing deal. Because if we look for this on Amazon, right? Let's see if Amazon even carries this. They don't even carry it. Like, I never heard of Movo. They might be a fine brand. Definitely don't buy this newer. That's aluminum. Leofoto's a good brand, but wow, they're pricey. But this Oben, yeah, you're not going to have any issue there. Let's see if they have any other deals. Yeah, all of these are for video stuff. What's this? Nope, that's with a tripod. I'm not familiar with this one. And they're not as good a deal. Here's a combo pack. And the Photo Pro, I don't know what your budget is. I can't imagine you were thinking about spending 850 bucks. But this is a great setup here. Photo Pro makes really good stuff too. And it's a good deal. Let's see if, relatively speaking, even AliExpress wants $587. So I think this is your best way, unless you can get AliExpress, you know. But I'm always a little iffy on AliExpress on high-end items. I mean, I'll buy like a $50 adapter or something off AliExpress, but I ain't spending more than $100 at AliExpress without worrying about it. You know what I mean? But definitely check out that oven. If the oven doesn't do it for you, then that Surae I recommended is really good. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Awesome, Paul, you got that one. I'm glad. I think you'll be very happy with that oven. And hey, Peter, good to see you. And Gear Fatigue says, wish the Narrowband channel could have reviewed the OM3. He probably would have jacked about it. Yeah, I know. But he would have definitely had a problem with the same problem I'm having with the, there's no 2.5 millimeter jack. That's definitely a problem. And at that price point, you know, like I said, you're paying for a billion things you don't need for Astro. If you could use the camera as a regular camera, maybe, but because of that cut filter, it shifts all the colors, and it just it's just too much. Okay, you spent all your money on that. Yeah, that was money well spent though, the 150 to 400, right? Okay, let's go to, I think, Paul, aren't you like in Australia or something? I might be thinking of a different Paul. So I don't know if you can get the B&H deal or not, but the Surae and the B&H, the Surae you can get just about everywhere worldwide. And that's, you know, 170 something. That's a decent price for a really good gimbal. Let me just do a real quick check on memory cards. I assume you're talking about SD cards, right? So let's look at a 128 gig. You know, if you're doing photography, 128 is plenty. And I'm just going to do a quick look. Because I looked this morning. Actually, I always look for memory card deals. And I did not see any good deals. And I only recommend the V60 cards, not the V90s. Because the V60s work just as fast in your camera, and they're only slightly slower in your computer when you're reading them off your SD card reader, assuming you have a fast SD card reader. Yeah, there is nothing. Nothing. Let me move up to the 256 gig. Sometimes the Samsungs are, they're not V60s, but the Samsungs are good V30 cards. Gigastone has kind of piqued my curiosity a little bit. But because they're getting such good reviews, and they've been around, at least on Amazon, for a long time. So I think they're starting to build a name for themselves. Sorry, you're not seeing my screen. These Gigastone cards, you know, 4,000 reviews, 4.6 stars. I don't know. That's pretty attractive, but their pricing is reasonable. But I always look for like the like this one. I buy these a lot. Not a lot. I bought this a few times, right? $25. If you don't need like pro capture and buffering is not a problem for you, like you're just point and shoot kind of person, this is perfectly fine for video and for just point and shoot stuff. The V30 cards, and this is not a bad deal. Sometimes the Pro Ultimates are cheaper, or if you get it with the card reader. No, looks like the best deal is just this one, the 256. And yeah, Jeff was looking. You were looking yesterday and didn't see any. Yeah, I don't see anything. But like I said, I don't know if you're looking for V60 or if you're looking for a V60. Well, we'll look on B&H. Let's go to B&H today. So the Mega Deal Zone. All right, so I have some links to some of my cherry-picked items in the description below of this stream. So you definitely want to check those. Good variety there. There's good deals on photography stuff and 1 or 2 laptops that I found. So we'll start with the photography stuff. Okay, the lenses. So, you know, if you have a Canon EF or Nikon Z, you know, whatever, all of these are good deals. Okay, really, really good deals. But this is the one that I like, is this one. They have this for Micro Four Thirds as well. Might be this one. One of these is for Micro Four Thirds. Maybe this one. This has got to be it. Okay. Anyway, they have it in various mounts. So I have a link to this down below as well. But this is a really this is 4.5x macro for $119. I have this lens. If you guys have been on my streams before, I've showed it to you before. I don't know where I put it now. I'm sure it's in here. Here it is. So it's this one. It's basically, the lens is on the front here with a little aperture ring. I set it to like f8 to do my macro stuff. And then everything else here is just empty space. So basically you have like your adapter here, so you can use it on a mirrorless camera, because this was originally made for, you know, regular DSLRs. So they added a little extra space here for, I wonder if this unscrews. No. So there's a little space here for the DSLR, you know, adapter. And then there's space here. It's basically an extension tube, but it's all built into one solid piece, right? So it's very, very stable. And the optics aren't bad. So I'll give you an example. And you may have seen this before as well, because so many of you have been following me for so long. Hold on, my hard drives need to spin up. Yeah. So, like I did this one. These are little grains of sand. They're like the size of dust. It's shocking how small this sand is. This is sandpaper. I have this one right here, actually. this sandpaper. I don't know if you can see. It looks like just white glue and sand, right? But this is actually what it looks like when you zoom in with 4.5x macro. You can see all the individual pieces of garnet and sand in there. Pretty amazing, huh? Just this little, I don't know how close this camera. So, but the trick is, with this, is you need to have a macro rail, okay? And these are on sale too. Oben has this tripod, it's $39. I mean, I got lucky and got this for like 25 or 28. It's a different brand, but I think the Oben is the same. But I use this a lot with this macro rail, right? And this macro rail is awesome. It's the only way you're going to be able to use this lens, okay? Because the depth of field is so shallow that if you take a single shot, you know, you'll get something like this. Like you'll get one little thing in focus. So you have to stack. You have to stack using a rail. But this works great. So I'll put this on, you know, and I think I shot those with my OM3. I'll put this on. I'll just show you what it looks like. $120 and then $60 for the rail. So you're saving hundreds of dollars, all right, to do this. So this is what it looks like, okay? And then this tripod's on sale for $39. This tripod is very, very stable. I wonder if I can, let me see if I can switch my camera over here so you can see it better. It's a little hard to see. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, that helps a little. So, so what you do, right, is you put whatever your subject is in front, and then you just turn like this. You know, you get the minimum focusing distance. You know, you focus everything on one point, and then you can adjust it like this. And then what I like to do is I like to turn the intervalometer on, so I don't have to push the shutter button. So I have the intervalometer set for like a 3-second delay or 5-second delay. I think I use 3 seconds, and then I have the flash on top with the diffuser sometimes, right? Because this diffuser will fit right there. And then I got whatever flash on there. And I set the intervalometer, you know, to do 900 shots. You know, you can stop at any time. And then 3-second intervals. So it takes a picture, click, you adjust by 5 notches on this little dial because it's got, you know, indicators on it. Click, 3 seconds, click, click, like that. And you're done in no time. And then you take it into like Helicon focus, or you know, you take it into Helicon focus, and that's what I use to stack it. But there's other stacking software, but Helicon focus seemed to work the best for me. So oh, how far is the subject? Okay, so let me see if I can, I have an HDMI plug here. I can just plug it right in. What's that? What's this? Let's see. Let me get this flash off. See if I can demo it for you. Let me turn on night vision. And so we're going to try and look at the fine print on this, right? Let's see. Okay. So this will help you see it. I'm going to level this so there's no parallax error. Zoom out a little bit. So here's the screen. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe I can make this a little brighter. Okay. So let's see. That's too close. Right there. Right there, it's in focus. See? So about 1 inch. Is that? So there you have it. So like that much. Maybe this much. Okay. So that hopefully that answers the question. How far is the lens from the subject for the sandpaper? So it was that much. Okay, so if you don't have sand like in this photo, because this is like garnet sand or something, you can probably buy it online. This sand, I haven't looked because Ethan of one images gave me the sand, but sandpaper apparently uses a lot of the same kind of sand. So you can start with that and experiment while you can order this sand for like $1 probably somewhere. And or maybe you have beach sand somewhere that you collect. My cousin collects beach sand. But anyway, that's cool, right? Okay. Oops, sorry. I need to, okay, so that's the macro lens. I spent a lot of time on that, but that was a good deal. So, macro rail. Here's an Oben macro rail. Let's see, I think the one that I have is on sale. $79. This is the one that I have. So I'm gonna get the link for this and put it in the chat. I think I have a link to the Oben one in the description. It's $20 less, but I like this one a little better. And I'll show you, I'll explain why. Come on, give me a, so this is the Nissi rail. Okay. So the main difference here is the wheel here. Okay. So just keep that in mind, this giant wheel on the back right here, this thing. So look at this wheel. You see these little fine micro adjustments? I usually end up going half, like these five notches on the scale here. with the intervalometer 5, 5, 5, 5, like that. With this particular lens. It might be different for different lenses, but with this lens, that's what I did to do the focus stacking. And if we go to the Nissi rail, or I'm sorry, the rail from Oben, let's see if they have a close-up. This one doesn't have any notches on it. Like, it doesn't have a scale. So you're just going to have to eyeball it, right? Yeah, you have to eyeball it, how much you're turning. That's the only problem with this rail. It's 20 bucks less, but without the scale, I wouldn't pay for it. I would get one of the Nissis. This is the one that I have. Yeah, this is crap. Okay, don't buy this. This is too small. I don't know anything about that, but $28, that's going to be crap. The rest of these I'm not as familiar with. You know, without the scale, I wouldn't get any of these. And because Leofoto is a good brand, but without a scale, it's really difficult. I mean, I will say, I paid $10 for one of these. Maybe these $90 ones are better. What this does is, a lot of times when you're doing macro, it's really hard to line things up when you're magnified in at like 4x. And I have to pick up the tripod and move it over a little bit or turn it a little bit. Having one of these will certainly give you some more precision in lining things up. So what I was thinking about doing, since I have one, I might put my Nissi rail on top of that, and then I can get the fine control that I need, because that thing does not have any fine control, and the knobs are hard to turn. The one that I have a cheap $10, you know, it sells for like $30. I got it for 10, so I couldn't help myself. And it's fine if you want to do like close-up photography. These things are really good for close-up photography, but not for focus stacking. Focus stacking, these are a pain in the ass. But for close-up photography, like you're doing a single shot, these are perfect. They really help you line things up. They give you that precision that you need, XY axis, to you know, line up your shot perfectly. So I can recommend these. I wouldn't spend $91. Let's see if they have a cheaper one. I thought I saw like a $30 one up here. This is a similar one for $60. You know, Oben, that's going to be high quality, right? Newer, yeah. I got like one. I paid like $10 for this thing. I'm sure Amazon has one. What do they call it? A four-way slider. You can see the Nissis here. This $139 on Amazon. Yeah, it's 64. Yeah, this is probably the one that I bought. And it was on sale for like $10, so I picked one up. But yeah, it works fine for flowers and things you're going to do one shot. But focus stacking, yeah, it's impossible. And so Peter says, I was thinking of the 90 macro with the 2x. I think you can get similar result. You know, Ethan would be a better person to ask, but I know he does that. He uses the 90 macro with the 2x teleconverter, and he's the one that inspired me to do those sand grain shots, right? So I think it'll be okay. But for me, $119 instead of $1,500 for a 90 macro and another $500 for a 2x teleconverter. That's just way out of my budget for now. For now, meaning in this life. In my next life, I'm going to rake in and that's not going to be an issue. But for now, in this life, I'll probably never be able to afford that. Okay. Some other B&H deals. So we looked at the lenses. We looked at the rails. There is a really good, let me check my, we talked about the dry cabinets. Oh, the Godox flashes. Now what's weird, okay, so again, I have a link to this down below somewhere. What's weird, you go to the deal zones, you go into photography, you would think it would be here in flashes. There's no Godox flashes here. They hit it, okay? See, I click on camera flashes, they got 2. Forget about these ring flashes. They're a pain in the ass. Where you need to go actually is let's see, photography. You need to go out here to lighting and studio. And then on camera flashes, I don't know if you can see this. Then you go to, so I'll start over. You go to the mega deal zone, right? You click on this. You go down here to lighting and studio. Then you go over here to on camera flashes. So all of these little Godox flashes are on sale. These are all good deals. I'm thinking about getting this one. I don't really need it, but I can't help it. This one or this one? I like this one too. This one here is very retro, right? I like this one with the little pedal thing coming out. It slides in and out. Just for fun. I wouldn't use it for anything other than just to have some fun with it, right? Then the Godox Lux Master, or Lux Senior, I'm sorry. The Lux Senior, I like this because it collapses down to just a little tiny pocketable kind of flash. But then when you open it up, you got this really nice big dish. So this would be really good for like close-up photography as well. Like if you're taking pictures of flowers and things, you could get some nice lighting on it with one of these. And of course it's all manual, which you most likely use in close-up photography anyway. But 75 bucks. This doesn't go on sale very often. Any of these Godox flashes. Maybe 2 or 3 times a year max. So if we're thinking about any of these, now is the time to get it. Or you're gonna have to wait till like one of the Prime Day deals, or you have to wait for Black Friday. These are, it's like now, sometime in spring, and then Black Friday. That's the only time you can get these on sale. The IA32 is a good little flash. So this solves a lot of problems. You don't have to buy a riser separately. The riser is built in right here, and this rotates up and down. So this is a good little flash for $34. Okay, so that's that. But I will put a link real quick in the description to this page. Godox Lux Flash. Okay, so that's that. And let me just check the chat. So yeah, the wheel makes a huge difference. And Jeff says, I might order the EF version since I have adapters for EF to about every, okay. but with over a dozen macro lenses, I think I maybe have more. Yeah, if you already have a bunch, I don't know. You'll have to call through your lenses and see what makes sense. And the 90 macro is probably better for focus stacking. Yes, it's awesome, especially handheld focus stacking, because it has that synchronization of the dual sync stabilization, and it's weather sealed. The 60 macro is weather sealed, I believe. But anyway, and that magnification and working distance, the 90 macro is probably the very best macro lens on the market of any camera system, in my opinion. But yeah, it ain't cheap. I almost had an opportunity to get one for like 1,000 or just under 1,000 when OM Systems had their refurb sale. But I just couldn't do it. And then ask Chris McGinnis. Yes, that'll be a good question. I'll ask him if I remember. They're so good at hiding them. I know, right? Like, you know, that's how I find a lot of things. I'm like, it's, it just, okay, let me search for it directly, and then there's the deal. And then you have to kind of back into, where did they bury it? Yeah, they would look good on OM3, definitely. Definitely, that's what I'm thinking about getting it for, is my OM3. Because, I have all these, I have these. But these are just boring, they're just very practical. I'm trying to make a video on this. I mean, I know I did a review of this flash, but I'm trying to make a review or a video when you have two of them. I bought another one, and then maybe you want to control other flashes and do this whole multi-flash setup, right? Because it's really funky. I know a lot of people are going to buy this flash, so I need to show people how to use it, because it's not straightforward, as you would think, to do a multi-flash setup and control multiple flashes with this setup. It's not quite as straightforward as I would have hoped. So I'm working through it. You should see this. I got like all my notes here. I'm trying to trying to get through all the different variations. Maybe I'm making it harder than it needs to be, but okay, so here's some more deals. The other deal, the backpack. Okay, there's one backpack that's really good. I mean, as far as backpacks go, you have to figure out your own needs, right? But so this doesn't hold photography gear. I don't know why this is in the photo thing. And I've never heard of Shimoda, but this is a really popular bag. So this is a good deal. If you know anything about Shimoda and you want a good deal on a Shimoda, get it now. But I can't talk about it because I don't know anything about it. This is a good bag from Think Tank, and this is a good bag. So these two. So I'm going to start. Let's start with this one. So this one here, awesome bag. This opens from the rear, which a lot of people prefer, and lots of dividers, and a little open compartment in the top. Let's see if they show a picture of it. Yeah, I like this top compartment up here. It's really handy for just throwing they're throwing junk in there. I wouldn't put that in there. But the idea being is, like, let's say you put your lunch in there and it spills. It's not going to seep down into your camera gear, right? It's going to stay separate. So I like that part. But I usually put really weird items that don't fit like in the dividers very well. That's what I usually put up in there. But Think Tank, you don't have to worry about the quality or durability, all of that. They're going to always use quality materials, and it's going to be very durable. The zippers are going to open and close very easy. this is, you know, this is a premium bag basically, and you're getting it for $100. I like this. Oh, it even has a waist strap system. The waist strap systems make a big difference too. Now they add a little bit of bulk to your, you know, to carrying a backpack around, right? But it takes the weight off your shoulders and puts it on your hips. So if you want to go all day backpacking, man, there's no substitute for having a good waist belt system like this one has. So yeah, $100, man, that's a good deal. And then this one is really interesting because if we look at the individual pictures, it has a very slim profile. So it's not very thick, but you can unzip it into layers and it expands out, right? I don't know why my camera keeps moving. So it expands out. And you know, lots of dividers. And you notice they're laying the cameras down flat. So for our Micro Four Thirds gear, we can probably stand them up straight the other way and fit even more. Because our Micro Four Thirds cameras aren't any taller than these freaking lenses with the lens hoods, right? I really like this bag. It's got, you know, a million dividers and pockets and small pockets and mesh pockets and zippered pockets right here in the front. Another one here in the front. This is where you keep your parking passes, your permits, your notes, whatever, right? Look how slim this profile is. But if you need to expand it, they don't show, do they show one with it expanded out? They don't really show it with it expanded out here. But this zip unzips, and you get another couple inches of space if you need it. So yeah, here's a shot. Look at how much, like 4 inches here it looks like. You can expand this thing out if you need to. So this would be a good scenario when you're bringing all your flash gear, like your 8300s, your 8600s, or whatever. You can cram them in there now. You don't have to get like your big backpack out. You can just use this one backpack for all your small stuff, your half-day trips, and then for your bigger photo jobs or projects, you can go out and you can expand this bag. You just need one backpack to do it all. $220 off. This is so tempting. I'm so tempted to get this. But I kind of like the Wander bags because it's rare that I need to personally expand things out, because I have another really big backpack that I can use. So since I already have a big backpack, I don't really need this. But I love it. I love the concept here. And look, 25 star, look, 17 reviews 5-star, 2 reviews at 4, and 1 at 3 stars. It's probably because it got delivered late or something, you know, so they leave 1 star. Oh, it didn't get here overnight. It took 2 days. I hate those people that leave 1 star because it's like a day late. But anyway, those are the 2 bags I recommend in this whole thing that I see. And like I said, the Shimodas I'm not familiar with, but you know, this one you have to be a little careful. This PGY Tech, there's a really good review in here, because I was like, why did this get a 1-star review? And it's because it's hard to see, but the camera strap tore from the connector here. Now granted, this part of the strap is very thin material and is probably not holding the majority of, it's not holding the majority of the weight, so I don't think you're at risk of the strap ripping off of the bag. But I can appreciate why he gave it 1 star, because that's, you know, that shouldn't happen this early. He said it took 4 months. one of my backpacks has that same vulnerability. It hasn't happened yet. It's right here. It's a bag that I really like, actually. It's my K&F bag. I use this bag a lot, and let me see if it's. But you always have to look at how the straps are attached, right? So this has double stitching, double reinforced stitching right here where the strap goes, and then the strap itself just extends a little bit beyond the stitching. So it goes in here. So they did a good job, but the problem is this material here is very thin, and this is very thin. So even though the stitching is great, the quality of materials of the strap are very thin. So eventually this is going to rip and tear. I don't know how long. I've had this bag for over a year. I don't use it every day, but I've used it enough over a year. And I'm still not having an issue. But let's see, I have another bag. And I'm taking the time to show you because the Think Tank bag is on sale. But if you look at this material here, this is like a seatbelt material. It's like a little seat, this is a nylon weave, not too dissimilar from like the seatbelts in your car. It's hard to see. And then it's cross stitched here. There's cross stitching that this goes into, and there's cross stitching here, right? This is a Tenba bag. This is like $250 bag that I bought like 10 years ago. And then if you look at the zippers, right, the zippers are really high quality. And the zipper loops like this, you can see it's steel wire with metal clasps. And then all of the cross stitching, and then of course I have the belt system also, right? The reason I don't use this bag much anymore, it's just too big. It's too thick, like it's too big, because when you open it up, look how deep it is. When I was shooting Nikon DSLR, this was perfect, right? Because you know how big DSLRs are. And then I have all the mesh pockets and lots of dividers. So this is a great bag for DSLRs. But for mirrorless cameras, it's just too big, meaning it's too deep. All my gear is, like my Micro Four Thirds gear, is just flopping around in here, and it's not secure. So that's why I stopped using it. Like this little divider here, you see how this divider is? It sits much lower. That's really for Micro Four Thirds type gear. It's about an inch less of space. Anyhow, so hopefully it's hard to see in a stream, but hopefully you could see the difference in like my $60 bag from K&F to a $250 bag. But then this bag, this Think Tanks are going to be the same quality, especially this one. This is such a good deal, and it's perfect for Micro Four Thirds. These Shimodas, these are really popular. 39 reviews, 4.5. Just very few. Most, like 35 out of the 40 star, 35 out of 39 are 4 stars and up, right? Most of them 5-star. But these are really thick, right? Look how thick that is. So, but maybe not. It doesn't look that big, actually. but they don't show. I mean, we have nice rubberized zippers here. It looks like really thick canvas material, and I like this. I like the removable insert here with lots of dividers. Looks really good, but it's hard to see. Let's see if we can get a. Yeah, it's hard to see this. See, the strap material here is very thin, but the other side, the canvas side, is very thick. Plus, they have this strap that's probably also stitched directly into the bag. So this is going to be very high quality. I don't know if they show. They don't really show that part, but you can see this nylon strap. It looks like it's stitched directly into the bag as well. It's hard to see, but it definitely, the strap goes all the way into the bag. I can see it here and here. So very, very little stress goes onto the weaker material. Like the mesh, the nylon mesh is really weak, like I have on my K&F bag. But my 10-bit bag, you could see they used that nylon strap and then cross-stitched, right? And then I had metal wire on all the zippers, and the zippers have really thick. Anyway, okay, so those are the main deals that I saw on B&H and on Amazon. Oh, Julio says Shimoda's are great bags. Awesome, thank you. They look like good bags. I just have never seen one in person, but it looks like a really good bag. 120 bucks. And Jeffrey says, I have low pro for 2-camera 4-lens that I've loved forever and they don't make anymore. Yeah, it's held up though some tough times. Larger bags for travel, but prefer low pro of all my 2-men. So low pro is a really good value bag. It's like a mid-tier bag where you get exactly what you pay for. Meaning, you know, if they have $100 bag, you're going to get $100 worth of bag. Versus say, and I hate to say anything about K&F because I love K&F, but you have to buy their bags on sale. Do not pay regular price for anything from these Chinese manufacturers, right? You know, when it comes to bags, you want to get them on sale because they are not worth the list price. They are worth the sale price, right? 20, 30. In this case, my K&F bag, I paid 60 bucks, I think. It's worth the $60, but it's not worth the list price of like $100. For $100, you can get a low pro, right, at regular price, and you'll get $100 worth of bag, no question. These bags, these premium bags, like I assume Shimoda's a premium bag. If you're getting these bags for like $100, this is a no-brainer. Like, let's look at this low pro. Only 9 reviews, top seller. This is big though, and it's, let's see. This is like DSLR size bag. See how deep the pockets are? So if you're still rocking some DSLRs, you know, this is a great bag. And then let's see if we can get a close-up on the strap construction, because that's usually the first tell, right? If you look at a design of a bag, so they have nice ripstop material here on the outside, good canvas, lots of nylon ribbon cable or strapping all the way around. Because this bag retails for what, $500? This better have everything in the kitchen sink. I just don't see a close. Oh, here's a strap. So again, it looks like it's hard to see. How about on the back end? Yeah, all right. So here you can see it. this is tough to tell. But you know, the bottom part where the padding is, that's usually the very thin material because it has to be breathable and flexible, right? And it's usually the top part that they have. This looks like vinyl though. But you can see the zippers are really hefty, very beefy. Man, those things will open and close. Lickety split, right? So I can definitely see the zippers are very high quality, good strapping. 180 bucks though. It's a little bit too big, 32 liter. This is for you DSLR folks. Let's see if they have another low pro in here. Here's another one. I don't get this bag, 70 bucks. But it doesn't have, it looks like it's just a, like, oh, it does have this insert. This is a little bit too small. This is the camera insert here, but they don't show a good picture of it. This looks like more like a travel backpack more than a camera backpack. So I would skip this one. Is there any other low pros in here? That's the same one, different color. Okay, here's a 24 liter. Maybe they got a better picture. Again, these are very deep. Oh, here. So yeah, see this canvas material is stitched directly into, so the very thick heavy duty canvas material is stitched directly into the bag. So that's going to be pretty solid, as you would expect, right? But it's not quite as strong as my Tenba. My Tenba, I like the stitching on it better. Okay, so I've jibber-jabbered enough about bags and deals. That's everything I had today. So if you're going to get a dry box, a backpack, you know, all the things we talked about, the filters, well, not so much filters, but the focusing rail, this macro lens over here, the flashes, all this stuff is on sale today and tomorrow, but you need to get it today because they sell out. They sell out of this stuff fast because the deal is so good. These are the ones in particular. Oh, the laptop. There is a laptop. Oh, Marco's here. Hey, Marco. They have a good deal on one laptop. The monitors are all a good deal too, but this one laptop I really like. This one. $12.99. So we're getting Ultra 9 24, you know, Intel Core Ultra, an RTX 5070, okay, and 32 gig of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD for $12.99. You can upgrade to this one. Oh man, how much is this one? Oh, that's, yeah, 26. All right, so this is a killer deal. $12.99 for all of this, 32 gig of RAM, an RTX 5070, and 1 terabyte SSD, and you can add another SSD. It has a slot. The 16-inch this particular, because I have the previous version of this without the AI chip. This is a great laptop, but you take this back cover off and there's another slot here for an extra SSD, which is what I did. And the screen is great. This is a great laptop, but I don't know if Marco, if you're familiar with this laptop, maybe you can give some feedback. Maybe it sucks, but the one that I have the one from 2 years ago. I have the Helios 16. Oh, this is the Neo. I don't know if mine doesn't say Neo. But I have the Helios 16 without the AI chip, and I have the 40 series instead of the 50 series NVIDIA graphics card. But I paid $2,500 for mine with 16 gig of RAM. Okay, so the fact that I can get the same laptop for half. Yeah, I'll give you the link. 1 second. I'm going to make this an affiliate link. Not that I expect you to buy this, Marco, because you get laptops for free. But for anyone else interested in this laptop, unless Marco says otherwise, I can highly recommend this one. Oh, you're not seeing this laptop? Hold on. This one. This is a killer deal. I have this same exact laptop. I'm looking at it right now, but I have the one from 2 years ago that I paid $2,500 for with only 16 gig of RAM. Although I do have the better video card. I have a 4080. You have a mountain of laptops, I bet. Yeah, it looks like a great deal, right? 550 bucks off. Man, if you've been thinking about upgrading your laptop to take advantage of all the AI tools like in DxO and Lightroom and whatever else out there that's using all this AI selection, then you cannot go wrong for $1,300 on this laptop. 32 gig. The only thing you need to do probably is, if you don't have external drives already, is buy an external drive, because 1 terabyte is not going to cut it. That's going to be just for your software. You're going to need some way to store your stuff. You can buy a separate SSD internal and stick it in there, or just get an external drive. I have like 5 external drives hooked up to my PC. I didn't see any good deals on external drives today, though. I did look. So just wait. Get this laptop now, but wait on the drives. The drives will probably go on sale in June, like for the Prime Day deals. Unless something comes up sooner. But that, yeah, see, Marcos says it right there. Very powerful for 1,300 bucks. Right? Looks like a great deal. Thank you, Marco. And thank you for helping Gary out the other day. I appreciate that as well. Hopefully he buys through your affiliate links, you know. Okay. 32 gig of RAM is $400. Yeah, you know, Robert was saying something about that this morning, that RAM prices are going through the roof. Yeah. Definitely need to buy this laptop. I should put this on my post. So anything else you guys want to look at today? I don't even know if anybody's watching anymore other than Marco. Oh, I have 40 people here. That's cool. So now's a good time to ask any questions. It was at 1350. Oh, you misread the other specs. Yeah. Yeah, this is a crazy good deal on a laptop. I use an external monitor. Let me see if there's a good monitor here. Oh, come on. What humidity setting do I use? I set it, ideally you want to set it for like 45, 50%. That's the ideal setting. Yeah. So, because the idea being is, they show it here, 45%. The reason being is if you set it too dry, you can dry out the seals on your cameras, right, and lenses. So you want to kind of set it somewhere about halfway so that you don't dry out your gear, but you want to keep the mold and stuff from growing. So that's the idea. So this dry cabinet, excellent deal. $100 off. I've been waiting for this. It was like $80 off last month, but now it's $100. And it was only $80 off for like one day, something like that. So you got a day or two. But like I said, you guys got to get this stuff before, because this stuff sells out when it's at these kind of deals. But we were going to look at monitors, right? And then Marco says, did you see the OM3? Yes, I saw that. I talked about that actually. I talked about that this morning. So yes, so you can't, the IR filter is actually, it has a notch in it to allow more hydrogen wavelengths to come through, like 4 times as much, versus like an IR cut filter is different that you put on the front. That's because you still have the filter on top of the sensor itself that's blocking everything. So you're way, way better off technically with the IR cut filter. But just real quick, the problem I have with the OM3, there was 2 major problems with the OM3 Astro camera. For those of you just joining in, you can rewatch my whole rant. I ranted for like a half an hour in the beginning about, well, not a half an hour, but I ranted a lot. Number one, and barring there aren't any, because I haven't seen all the specs, but barring there aren't any firmware updates or hardware changes, number one is you cannot set the shutter speed for longer than 60 seconds, right? That's true of all the OM system cameras, but the problem number 2 is there's no 2.5 millimeter jack for the shutter release. So you can't use an intervalometer, which I use intervalometers a lot. So these are the 2 things. If it had an if it had a 2.5 millimeter jack, then maybe. The other problem is, and these 3 problems are all deal breakers, okay? So if any Astro camera you're looking at has any one of these problems, you want to avoid it. The third problem is you're paying for a lot of camera and a lot of stuff you're not going to use. You're not going to use any of the computational stuff, right? In the OM3. You're not going to use the high-speed shutter, the pro capture, the focus stacking, the live ND, grad ND, you know, SH2, right? The 20 megapixel stack sensor. What's the point of that in astrophotography? Video. You're not going to use any of that for $2,500. Like $1,500 of it is being all spent on stuff you'll never use. Because with that IR cut filter in the camera, the problem is you can't use it as a regular camera. So for example, my Pen F doesn't have a 2.5 millimeter jack, nor can I set the shutter speed longer than 60 seconds, right? But I can still use it for Astro because, you know, I've gotten great shots with 60-second exposures. I can work within that limitation, and I can use it as a regular camera. So it's not just, you know, but the problem with the OM3 Astro is you can't use it as a regular camera because the colors are going to be off in daylight with the IR cut filter. But like I said, I've only seen the announcement, so I can only speak to previous Astro cameras that I've seen released with the same IR cut filter. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me pending those changes. Longer shutter speeds, and if you're going to do longer shutter speeds, you really need a 2.5 millimeter jack so you can hook up your laptop, computer, and guiding scope and all of that stuff if you want to do Sirius Astro. So for $2,500, you can buy a Sirius Astro setup, a dedicated Astro camera, a telescope with a tracker, and do everything automatic. You know what I mean? Why spend $2,500 for a camera that you can only use for one thing, and then even then it's not going to be that good at it? It's great for wide field astro, galaxies, not galaxies, I'm sorry, like Milky Way, star trails. Yeah, you're going to get amazing shots like that. But you're not going to get amazing shots for anything else. Deep sky astro, right? Like you want to put your 300 millimeter or 150 to 400 lens on there and get a shot of, the Orion Nebula or whatever, Horsehead Nebula. It's just not going to work as well. And I'm enjoying the laptop talk. I'm old, and first laptop was an IBM sewing machine for $8,000. Wow. Mac 2 FX for $12,000. Everything is cheap now. Prefer Apple Silicon now, though Pro Max 16. Yeah, they had some Apple laptops on sale over there at B&H, but I'm not familiar with Apple, so I can't speak to that. And between 40 and 50, so for the dry cabinet, yeah, 40 to 50% is the right amount. And what would you put that monitor stand in your Amazon page, the one that fit in your drive box? Okay, I'll do that. I need to measure mine again to make sure, because they all look the same online. So I'm going to measure mine and check the measurements. So what was it? Monitor stand, right? Okay, so this one is this one measures 15 by 9 by, so it's 15 wide. I think that's the right size. Let me check. I have my measuring tape. Oh, wait. No, mine is 18. All right, so it's 18. So let's find one that's 18 wide. 370 millimeters. So if we're at 18, that's, we need to be over 400 millimeters. This one's the same size, same size. These are all small. What if I just type it in directly? Monitor stand, 18-inch. That's the one we just looked at. I'll look, Heather. My computer just froze. Not the stream, but my Amazon page. Hold on. All of my Chrome stuff is frozen. Dang it. I don't want to close this window because I'll probably end the stream. How is this one doing? Can somebody type in the comments real quick if I'm still live? Because I can't, nothing is clicking now. Something froze my Chrome windows. I might have to reboot. My mouse is going around, but I can't. So the computer's not frozen, it's just Chrome. Yeah, all my other apps are working. So I have to restart Chrome. Oh, wait, it just came back. All right. Okay, it came back. I just had to wait. Okay, so I can look at the comments again. We keep our home between 40 and 50% humidity. Kansas weather is hard on everything. So controlling humidity really helps, yes. And if somebody interested in, look at the C-Star S30 Pro, yes. I believe that's the dedicated, right? Yeah, it's one of these, right? These all-in-ones. I think these are only like, yeah, 300 bucks. It uses a tiny sensor. That's what I'm saying, for 25, and this is like fully automated. These are really cool. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Those are amazing. And the Gray Vanzini's here. Good morning. My old desktop finally died. No more Windows 7 for me. Oh, man, you're still on Windows 7. Man, that's an old one. Yeah, Marco can help you out. He'll probably be able to send you a computer for really cheap. I know he's helped out a few of my viewers, and they were very, very happy with Marco and what he did for them. So I think they want it for night sky landscapes, like you say, much more practical ways to accomplish this, yes. And new Apple stuff is coming in May, probably worth waiting if anyone is in that ecosystem. Oh, okay, good to know. And Marco, do you really build PC looking for mid? Oh, okay, yeah, Marco is into all of that. And B&H still has the OM5 for $749 and Nikon Z5. Yes, the Z5 I would buy used. You can get them for 500 bucks. The OM5 though for $749, that's a good deal. Definitely. Thank you. I'm still live. Still live. I couldn't even see your comments because all my Chrome windows were frozen. So I don't know. Honestly, Windows hasn't progressed much since Windows 7. From the user interface point of view, I agree 100%. Yes. It's pretty much the same, right? Because we're always using third-party. I'm using third-party apps for most things. Windows is basically a file manager, right? For me, for most of us, I think it's just a file manager of organizing where all our apps are. Okay, oh, I did want to mention one more bonus. There are two things that have, in my life, okay, that have changed my life forever. Two products, not photography related. I'm not going to talk about the other one because that's medical related, but it changed my life. The other one, this is, I don't know why I'm Johnny come lately for this. Matcha tea. Oh my God. I bought this, what, January 15th. This has changed my life. I don't know if you've noticed, if you watch my streams from before January 15th to now, you probably might even see a difference in my presence, right? I'm going to put this on my deal page. It's so stupid. But I'm going to put it on my deal page. Where's, okay, so it's on my deal page now. It's not on sale, but I don't know how to explain it. But after a stream, because I feel like I stream every day. Uh, you tried to get into matcha, but it's medicine, really. It tastes like really strong green tea to me. Maybe try this one. If you got 25 bucks, try this one. But I used to get, after a stream, man, I would eat a little lunch and that was it, man. I would crash. And that's because whatever coffee I had in the morning wore off. Eating always makes me sleepy. And then I had no energy until I drank coffee again. Then I would crash again. Then I couldn't sleep because somehow the caffeine still kept me up. So I would have one coffee in the morning for that kicker. And then during or shortly after the stream, I have the matcha tea. And that is it. I'm awake the whole day, even after lunch. And I'm not falling asleep or tired. It's crazy the difference this has made. So yeah, matcha tea. And I try to tell people around me, like in the photo club and stuff, oh yeah, I drink matcha tea all the time. I love it. I'm like, why have I never heard of matcha tea before? You know? So the science behind it is basically green tea. Well, matcha tea is basically green tea, but not in the bag, right? It's ground into very fine powder, and you don't need a bag. You just stir it in. That's all it is, right? So there's nothing magical about matcha tea. It's not like special green tea or green tea that was, you know, well, this one in particular says early spring harvest and shade grown, stone ground. So there's a lot of quote unquote tea properties there or characteristics that supposedly make this a better green tea. In this modern day and age, there's really not that much difference between all these teas. But it made a difference in history. It made a difference because early spring harvest tea, it's still very, very cold in the mountains. And it was very expensive to have tea certain times of the year. So there was this perception because it was more expensive, it's better tea. But in reality, it was just a lot higher labor cost during certain times of the year for the same tea. And anyway, I don't want to get into tea history and all that. But this is a really good tea, this matcha. This is the one I'm drinking and it's changed my life forever. I just can't say enough about it. And I go to bed at night and I sleep like a baby because it's not a strong, like coffee can have like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Matcha tea is probably closer to like 80 or 90 milligrams. But it also has like this protein or something in it that makes the caffeine release slowly and for a longer period of time. So you don't get a spike and you don't get a crash. So yeah, matcha tea. Supposedly it's really, it's good for your metabolism and all of that. But anyway, that's enough about that. Ah, you jump ship to Linux. Wow. Wow. And let's see, you guys, if a 24 monitor is okay, the iMac is a great value. Okay. And you tried to get into matcha. It tastes like medicine. Yeah, I don't know. I have a pretty diverse palate. I'll eat or drink almost anything. And mushroom coffee is another good one. I do both maca. Oh, mushroom. Yeah, mushroom has a lot of great properties. I try to eat mushrooms the whole. But mushroom tea sounds interesting. Yeah, 1 or 2 cups a day is okay. Yeah. So like I have coffee in the morning, then a matcha in the afternoon, and that's it. So this will be all the caffeine I take in, because this one will last me a long time. And then when I'm ready to go to bed at like 8 or 9 o'clock, I go to bed early. I'm like, I'm tired and I'm out. And you also prefer tea over coffee. And Costco for Apple products for a 90-day return policy is great for, oh, thanks, Lauren. Awesome. Good advice. Good advice from Lauren, as always. All right, so I don't really see any other question because I went off on a tangent. But I will, I think now is a good time to end the stream. Let me find my stream window. There we go. Still a lot of people here, though. Okay. I can hang out for a little bit because I just had some matcha tea, so I'm awake. Where's the chat window? You need an instant pot frother. Oh, okay. Let me look up that. So if you guys only wanted to come here for photography stuff, we'll probably be on that. I'll still answer questions though if you want, but I feel like we're getting into like non-photography stuff now. Instant pot frother carafe. What is that? It's funny, Heather. You have to send me a link, Heather. Just email me a link to whatever it is you're talking about, because there's so many varieties here. I don't know which one it is. Because I do have one of these, but I don't have any of this other stuff. I wonder if B&H has them on sale. And Lauren says, Linux is great, but does not have my photo editor available and some other software. Yeah, that's my problem. Everyone needs to hit the like button. Thanks, Heather. Hit the like button, hit my affiliate links, all that good stuff. It's going to rain in California here, and temps dipping. Panic to set. Was it you, Lauren, that sent me that video with the news reporter talking about the rain? Was that you? That was hilarious. I sure I bookmarked that because I was dying laughing. If I can find it, I'll share it with you guys. Don't want to share all my bookmarks here, but I don't see it anymore. I thought I bookmarked it, but my God, that was so funny. And Paul says, Rob, do the dry boxes gave to freestanding, or are they placed inside a cup? They're freestanding. In fact, I would leave like an inch between the back and the wall, because that's where the dehumidifier grill is in the back. And so, yeah, I have mine actually about 2 inches away from the wall because I have to reach back there for something else. But you need to leave at least an inch or so away from the back of the wall. And then it has 4 adjustable feet on the bottom that, you know, screw up and down so you can level it. And that's what I do. It was top left. So this thing, $48. I'll add it to my list. Instant Pot Magic Froth 9-in-1 electric milk steamer frother. Wow. Okay, I'll look into it. I'm not ready to spend $48, but maybe it'll go on sale. Gotta have my chai tea some days. Yep. Wet Stop. Yeah, it was you, right? My God, it was the funniest video ever. I think it was on Instagram though. That's why I didn't bookmark it. But I thought I could bookmark Instagram stuff. I probably followed the person that created the video. So how do I find my people I'm following? I'm following way too many people. What was her name, Lauren, if you remember? I'm not gonna find it. Peter says we use our freestanding dehumidifier for drying the laundry. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I try to air dry, you know, and lay flat as much as I can, because dryers are really rough on clothes. If I search, is this it? No. This is not it. Oh, my friend is on or Instagram. I didn't know that. I don't know why her thing came up when I was looking for California. Anyway. Okay, so I think that's it. So guys, gals, ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a lot of fun. And I hope you saw some good deals there that you can take advantage of. And I'll be back on Friday for my normal photo editing stream. And then Sunday for the second part of the 8th annual Micro Four Thirds meetup. Lots of great guests there. Lee Hoy, Dax. I don't know if you guys remember Dax from OM Systems. And Brian James, Micro Four Thirds guy. And Ali O'Keefe from 1 Month 2 Cameras. So some new people, right? Dax and Ali. And one other person, I don't know why I'm forgetting. But yeah, we'll be back Sunday for that. So definitely come back for that. That's going to be another good time. You guys have a great day, great rest of your week, a good life, eat healthy, exercise, and